I'm Scotty Herriman. We're up in northern Nowata County, which is up on the Kansas border at South Coffeyville. I grew up about half a mile across the pasture, and so I didn't get too far away from home. But in my high school years, we used to haul hay in this river bottom here and hauled alfalfa for a gentleman. And about 1972, he decided that I needed to own 60 acres of this bottom that I'd been hauling hay on. I said, I don't have a dollar to my name. He said, we can make that happen. And the old gentleman financed me and got me started. So we were technically established here in the early 70s. Wife and I got married in 74. We got this place purchased in the mid 70s, and so we started farming here at home, mostly beans and corn. We grow quite a bit of wheat and then try to double crop that each year in that rotation. And since then, we bought a couple more places that joined us and to increase this river bottom. So I would be what most people would call a river rat. I've been here on the river all our life, which is a half a mile east of here, but truly enjoy it and enjoy farming every day here. I was a traditional heavy tillage person, like everyone else in the country, as all of us were brought up with a plow, because Dad and Grandpa used the plow. So we stayed with that until '07, and then we had a major flood here, what I would call a 500-year flood. All this bottom behind us was underwater. I'd be sitting in water right now in '07, but we had to do something. We farmed 2,000 acres, and that summer it took all of our wheat. It stayed wet. We couldn't get beans planted. It wrecked our corn. We harvested 13 acres that year, and I literally thought our farming days were over. But we kept our head up, and God led us through this thing as He always does. And the next year, knew there had to be some changes. And survival tactics had to kick in, so to speak, and they did. So I, at that point, started no-tilling, and we've been no-tilling ever since. What encouraged us also was the fact that we acquired some equip money, some NRCS funds that helped us to get started in the no-till business. And that was just a part that pushed us over the hill, so to speak. And yes, we're going to make it work, and we did. So that was an encouragement to receive that little bit of help. So we put it all in no-till, and by the end of the year, it was ugly. But as time went on and harvest was good that fall, the next year we did the same thing, increased the acreage on the no-till, and my wife and I both declared, this isn't so bad. This ugly part is really the way to be. That growing crop out there is sustained by a mulch now that is dead, and we're not getting any runoff like we used to in that heavily tilled ground. So this isn't so bad. So we stuck with it, and long story short, we're doing it to this day, and that was in '07. In our trial part that we have portrayed on this 300 plus acres, I think it was a $4 savings over the entire program. Again, that does not include the intangibles like less hired help that you don't particularly need now that you're no-tilling. It also doesn't take into effect what is the cost of organic matter that we are gaining by no-tilling and cover crops over the years. So these are some intangibles that doesn't really fit the bottom line. The bottom line, of course, would be fuel savings, tillage cost, maintenance and repairs. You can plug all that in, and it could start to add up. But there are the good parts of the things you cannot get a handle on. we have some fields that organic matter is raised a whole point, and it takes years and years generally to do that, but we're actually seeing that through our cover crops and our no-till ground with very little changes other than the mental part of making all this happen. Don't let anybody tell you you can't do it, you're too old. It has nothing to do with it. Get your head on straight and make that change. You're doing it for the right reasons, for the right cause, and it can happen. Not only does it work, it's the right thing to do. It is the right thing to do. And everyone talks about passing something on better than what you got it. I think we probably are, even after the great flood of '07. That I know I'm leaving something for someone to farm later, and I hope they would carry on the same practices. So you could ask my wife today, and we'll drive by and see a completely tilled field. She says, boy, that is ugly. They are losing ground. And I'm saying, honey, you got it right on the money.